date is June 15, 2018. Welcome back to another episode of Music Files. With me today is, back again, my co-host, Mr. Reese Walker. Say what up to everybody.
What's good, everybody? Thank you for being here. Artist D Walker, Reese Walker, all of that stuff. But yeah, Music Files. There's been a lot of music since the last time we talked that dropped. I mean, a fair amount, but yeah, we're going to get into it. I don't know. I've heard everything, but I'm excited to talk about a few projects.
So last time we talked, Pusha T just dropped his album. We were on the verge of, the whole Yeezy season, and now we're right in the middle of it. But before we talk about the albums we haven't talked about, obviously Kanye West and Kid Cudi and Kanye West's joint project, we got to talk about Drake's no response.
True. So, we ended our shit with...
Yeah, we talked about
Pusha's...
their whole beef and back and forth.
The story of Adidon.
And how Pusha went so crazy at him, and, we both assumed that Drake would have to respond to that. And it's been, 2 weeks? Over 2 weeks now, and...
I lost track. I stopped caring after a week.
And he basically... He got other people running around telling him that telling everybody else that he's not releasing.
People out here. He got okay.
He had to enlist.
We got to get right to that, though. We got to get right to that.
He had to enlist Prince. You know what I'm saying? To come.
How does Jay Prince have a book, promotion tour at exactly the time when Drake needs good press?
But most people
talks
don't
about
know
Drake.
That Drake and Jay Prince are associated unless they're like hip hop heads.
But every interview was only about that,
Drake,
and and my book.
I mean, it's perfect for his book because when I started seeing the interviews, I'm like, yo, why the fuck is Jay Prince doing interviews? I'm like, yo, he never does interviews ever.
For real,
you never hear him talk or say much, and then he has a book coming out. Oh, okay, but this whole interview 90% of it is about the Drake and Pusha situation. Oh, okay. I guess you gotta get people to click and sell your book somehow.
For real. But here's the thing too about that. It's just the stuff that he said, particularly about this Drake and Pusha T beef, has sent everybody else into a frenzy about this beef. Now it's oh shit, okay, so Jay Prince stopped it. He was we had a track. He said it was too vulgar. He didn't want him to start throwing muck around in the pig pen. He didn't want Drake to ruin his brand.
Sounds like a cop-out to me.
He said that.
Sounds like a cop-out.
But Jay Prince is not one to lie.
Okay,
Jay
but
Prince
do you really believe he had a career ending this? Come on, bro.
I mean, for Kanye, maybe.
Nah. First of all, you can't end Kanye's career. Second of all,
bro.
He doesn't have enough to say about Pusha T.
He doesn't have to. He wanted to take good music down and ruin this whole shit. What if Drake said boycott good music when Scorpion comes out? Then they would lose mad sales. They'd be like, don't listen to it. They'd be like, don't listen to it till July.
Who's boycotting Kanye West's music?
Why not?
Who?
Yeah, but nobody asked anybody to. Nobody music or competitor wise.
Remember when Kanye?
Credit, but remember when Kanye and 50? Remember when Kanye and 50 did the sales thing, and then Kanye won?
Sales thing.
Yeah, but I'm saying that's the same competitiveness, and it was fans drove the outcome. I'm saying a similar thing could
different
happen.
day and age, bro. That was when people were going out and buying CDs, though.
I know. That's a different age, for sure.
So it's not like I have to go out there and not buy his CD. It's on the streaming servers. What do you mean? I'm not gonna click play? Come on, Drake don't got that much pull, bro. He gonna stop you from clicking that play button?
I mean, I
can't do it, man. I can't do it. I can't press his play. I can't press play, man. Drake said no, man. Come on,
there is a topic though. There is a topic online about whether Kanye's basically tainted all the projects, so now people are I saw an ad and a headline, some dumb shit. They were like, should we look at Nas's project different because of Kanye? And I was like, what? I was like, I don't want to, but now you put that thought in my head.
Their sales seem to be doing fine to me. I don't hear too many people.
What do you mean fine? Kanye, for a Kanye album, it's a flop for a Kanye album.
How you say that?
For everybody else, it's good. Yeah, it is.
What is?
That's What'd he sell? Like 100,000 the first
sold.
week?
I don't know the numbers.
Ye doesn't do numbers like that. That was a low number for his album.
We're gonna talk about Ye in a second, but
for Ye, that project,
we're gonna get to Ye in a second. Number. We're talking about Drake right now.
Right. So Drake,
get back on topic.
No response. Jay Prince. Okay, he said there was a career-ending diss. I think he had something, probably not career-ending.
Definitely not career-ending.
But I could see it would have just been dope. Honestly, I wanted to have the vulgar shit.
I want the back and forth. Let's see it. Come on, you talking about you this and that, and this is the first time he took a real hit, I would say.
But here's the thing. Since we're talking about that, I want to put this thought out there. So Pusha T started this with an album cut, right?
Yeah.
Drake's supposed to release an album on June 29th.
You think he's going to wait?
He might just end it with an album cut. Well, because Jay Prince, so the word is Jay Prince just didn't like the way Drake was going to respond, like how he was sounding. So he said so I think Drake changed it and still has something on the project.
I hope so, because it's making Drake look real bad right now. The way he just kind of
it's making him look so bad. So bad.
Didn't answer any of the questions.
Bro.
People had real questions after. This is the first time I've ever seen him really take a hit. Because people had real questions, personal questions about him.
He's just addressing weird shit.
And he hasn't addressed
music video for "I'm Upset." He dropped
the video. First of all, I don't even like the song, so I was.
Drake is the king of dropping a dope video for mediocre music. It's crazy. He be dropping mediocre songs, and then the video kills it. And you're just like, shit.
I'm upset. Okay, bro, you should be upset. You just took the biggest hit of your career, and you not even responding. You bowing out. So, I mean, at times you sound like a Drake stan. So, are you giving him a pass on this?
Not until the album.
So you're gonna wait till the album?
I gotta wait till the end of June. No, he basically lost this beef, and so if we're going by what Drake the rules he set up for himself, basically, then he lost. He took an L because he's not addressed the beef basically, except for the one time he fucking said that he was an actor back in the day, and that's where the pictures came from. And I was trying to blah blah blah. I hope you're all enjoying the circus. Shut the fuck up! What the fuck are you talking about? I know you're all enjoying the circus. He wrote a letter,
bro. This is how bad this man just got hit, bro. He wrote a letter,
and you send Jay Prince. How are you gonna send the boss of all bosses to talk for you? So nobody can say anything. Nobody could ask Jay Prince a real question. Nobody can be like, but they'd be like, oh, okay, OG, Jay Prince, I can't even, you can't come at him. Everybody's scared of him.
So bad. My man got relegated to writing a PR letter, bro.
That's terrible.
He didn't respond to something. He wrote a PR letter.
Bro, he got people sending him invoices.
Y'all don't see how corny that is?
He got people sending him invoices.
People not see how corny that is? That's corny as fuck. Come on, bro.
That's hilarious. That's why he's getting fucked up with that. That's why niggas is sending him an invoice. Oh yeah, cut me the check for ghostwriting, nigga. And then everybody looks into it.
Disappointing, bro. I was expecting a real back and forth.
It looks crazy.
I was really looking forward to a real back and forth finally, and this is what
I'm just shocked that Jay Prince. I'm just shocked.
I don't want to hear about Drake is about this and about this no more. You know how I know he really got hit? Because if you read the comments, all his little stands are freaking out, talking about, Pusha T needs to thank Drake for even making him relevant. Nobody knew who he was before that. What are you talking about? Niggas been know who Pusha T was. Yeah, Drake been know who Pusha T was. People know who fuck he been was. Just because your man ain't about it. No, just don't bring up that he's about that life like that.
That's what I'm saying though. I was just like, how are you gonna be free smoke, nigga? You came
free smoke.
My nigga, King Push blew that shit out the water. Fuck your smoke, nigga. I'm burning the forest down.
Ain't no free smoke out here, man. You out here getting smoked, man. That's disappointing.
Your little smoke can't hang. That's like you smoking cigarettes and we're smoking cigars. Like this is a cohiba.
It's like it went from damn like okay. Now we're about to get some real bad. Like, damn, should we start feeling bad for Drake because he went so hard at him now? Like that type of shit. Like that letter type of like feel.
Nobody's
bad
feeling bad
shit,
for Drake. Nobody should feel bad for Drake.
People are like feeling bad now because he got hit so hard. Like that's sad, bro. He's supposed to be that guy.
Nah, he'll get hit if his core fans leave him after this album. That's what's gonna happen.
That's like if Dre made that diss he did when he talked about leaving, Combs in the baby seat and shit like that, and then Nas came back with the letter explaining that he wasn't with that chick no more, and like it's like on that level, bro. Like if he did some shit like that, it's corny, bro.
Is it though?
Yo, I love Nas. I would respect Nas after that shit, bro. If you did some shit like that,
I don't know if it's quite the same.
This man just talking about your mom, bro, and your pops, and you wrote a fucking
but
letter.
they did full album cut diss tracks. They did full album cut diss tracks. Like it was one whole track dedicated to one person. Drake did
still the greatest, one of the greatest.
Push did it.
Ever. Imagine if
they weren't on albums. Ether's crazy. Ether was like disrespect. So I feel like Drake was coming with some Ether, and Jay Prince was like, Drake, that's not your brand. You don't talk like that. Like, whoa, homie. What you about to say? What about who?
He ain't want none of that smoke, bro. He ain't all that free smoke shit.
Well, the problem was Drake was gonna do was run all the way around Pusha and just create a tabloid frenzy with like Kim and Ye and fucking probably a lot of the inner workings of Kanye's life, which is odd. Because I'm sure he knows more than we think he does.
I mean, they live next to each other, so probably.
So that's why I'm talking about career ending, because it might be really private shit. He could have had private shit in there. T. That's what I'm saying. I think he was gonna go for I'm gonna fucking make this about everyone around you and how you're the president of some shit of a sinking ship. He's like, so that's what he would probably. That's his take because he can't come after the T. No, that's what I'm saying. Drake would make it a sinking ship by killing Kanye and making everything he touches trash.
Kanye too big, bro.
But he can't do it. I'm just saying.
Y'all give Drake too much credit. Y'all give Drake way too much credit, and this just shows y'all that this man ain't untouchable, bro. Period.
Everybody can get touched.
Period. Y'all let us know what you think about Drake running away from this fight, man. Is this cool, or like, are you gonna give him, are y'all gonna give him a pass into the album to see if he says something?
No, it's
I'm not giving no passes out here.
Pusha T slapped him back into wheelchair Jimmy, dog.
He did.
He slapped him all the way back into Degrassi, dog.
And shit, all like, come on, bro. He doing everything I did not want. Like he going the opposite direction of. This shit turned out real disappointing. Y'all let us know in the comments what you thought about it. Word. So, speaking of the Yeezy season, we did not talk about Kanye West's Ye because I think it just dropped like right after we finished podcasting, basically. So,
yeah,
you go ahead and start. Give your opinions. A lot of you guys can already read my opinions because I did my Kanye West Ye reaction already. But tell me what you thought, man.
Well, I mean it's Ye, so. I mean, before I went to the project, I was like, all right. I was just thinking about the last, 2 or 3 that he did. So they're, obviously completely different than everyone's, quote-unquote classics. They, Graduation and, Late Registration. Those are the ones everyone, really loves.
My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy.
My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy is
a perfect album.
Well, because of the fucking everything around it. He wrote that out like a madman, like a genius. I mean, honestly, I wish he would have done something like that. Like, I wish there were movies with these 7-parters. What if there was a short film for all these short shits? That would have been sick. Like, what happened to that, Ye? But anyways, back to Ye, the album. It was honestly... I guess I'm left disappointed. But I guess I didn't expect him to make a good album because everyone said he just decided that he wanted to have one too. Like, I'm gonna have an album too. And then he redid the entire album.
The entire album like a day before.
Well, three or four times. He did it 2 weeks before, and then did it like
after TMZ shit. And that was like a week before that one came out.
Yeah, and he was doing it at the release party.
And he shot the
apparently he was
on the way to the release party.
Yeah, exactly. So, in terms of direction, I wasn't expecting much, and it had none. And honestly, I think some of it was cool, but a lot of it felt like it should have just been a skit that led up to like a really good song. Like the first song, I think it's the first song, or no, maybe it's not the first song. But I thought about Killing You or whatever it was.
The first song.
Yeah. So
he
that
wasted
song,
that entire first half of that beat by just talking. To me,
why
that was
did
like
you?
One of the best beats
It's 7
on the whole
tracks.
album.
It's 7 tracks, and I was like, "That's real, yay!" But that's not like you could have done a little bit better. It was great, but not. It wasn't fantastic. Like it wasn't yay. It wasn't yay. It was good, but not great.
It was good for anybody else, but for Kanye West, this was his worst project by far for me.
Yeah.
Like you said,
that's disappointing.
For a 7-track album to feel this directionless is an accomplishment in itself. Like, you only have 7 tracks to work with. You telling me you can't come out with like a concise thought or coherent thought through 7 tracks?
You. Right? He probably could have had an amazing album if he would have just kept all the albums he made and just took like the best parts instead of remaking all the shits. Like,
I mean, if there was some idea that he was like trying to like play on his mental instability and like bipolarism by bouncing around from idea to idea like he did on the album, it makes sense. But no, that doesn't even feel like that's what he's going for. This is just kind of what it came out as.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, most of the album really felt like almost an extension of the life of Pablo. Didn't like necessarily a brand new direction, because every album he's done typically feels like a completely brand new direction and like sound than what he did before. Like, really can't compare his albums to each other like at all.
Yeah. And
this one really feels like an extension of the life of Pablo, and like it kind of feels like, I mean, to Life of Pablo, he went to Hawaii. He kind of did the same thing. He went to Hawaii with a bunch of people, had them fly in and out, and like kind of janked together a project that just kept like never getting like not re-edited and shit like that.
Yeah, it was so weird. I'd listened to like a couple versions. I have like 3 versions.
There's like 5 or 6 versions out there of like the Life of Pablo. And it's crazy.
Yeah, man. Ultra Light Beams, I probably have like 4 or 5 versions of Ultra Light Beams. Like on my computer. I was like, oh, this version's dope. Chance has an extended part here. Like
and that's like, it feels like that same recording process, because 7 tracks, the production does not mesh together. Like, there's like a strong switch from after, I want to say like maybe All Mine to like a completely different direction musically than like he started out as. And then like my biggest problem with it, like the production is okay, is whatever, wasn't like fantastic, by far not his best production, and like especially after following Daytona, it was felt lackluster compared to like the amazing shit he produced for on Daytona.
Yeah.
And then like he spent 3 weeks basically PRing his album by talking crazy shit and like tweeting and like having this whole run about everything he's saying, all his controversy about the shit he was saying. Right. So, you know, I go into the album expecting him to at least, I don't know, maybe address the shit you've been talking for like the last month, considering you rewrote your album. The farthest he goes,
good with T.I.
The farthest he went to actually addressing what the fuck he said, anything he said, was wouldn't leave, and like just talking about the situation with his wife, but not like specifically about the things he said and the ideas he put out there. So like, what's the point of free thought if you never even decide to expand on your ideas or like really think about the ideas that you're saying, or instead you just say the shit and you act like it never happened, except, oh, it happened because I got into this trouble and this trouble, and my wife told me to shut my mouth, but she stuck with me anyways. Like, that's literally the extent of him addressing any of the topics and shit that he brought up that 3 weeks. So it felt like, so that put me off even more, because it just felt like, oh, so that was just all the PR stick.
Yeah, it was crazy. Like, And then I just be blurring it because I feel like he's trying to like sprinkle things into all the projects he's producing.
He's trying to.
So like, so I noticed when I went back to Daytona, I like was like, oh, I missed that. And then there was like something in the Nas that I heard snippets of that I was like, oh, okay. There's some crossovers, especially in the CuDi that we're gonna talk about next, the Kid Cudi and Kanye.
I mean, he just talks about like having mental issues and shit. Like, as like, oh, that's my superpower. That's like the most extended way he talks about mental health. Or like it was just a weak way.
Kanye's way more in depth usually at anything, but he didn't go in depth at all. I was like, why is it so fucking? Yeah,
so shallow. And I hate when people hype this shit up and talk like he actually said some like profound shit. Yeah. It's like everything he said was the shallowest version of anything I've ever heard come out of his mouth, bro.
Bro, and know it's crazy, and that's how I know. I saw Axe say some shit, and this is how I know I hate Axe now. I used to think he was kind of cool and kind of said some shit,
cornball.
But this nigga academic said that Kanye's new album had more substance than fucking 808s. He said this album to him had more substance in it.
Substance?
And
what substance are we talking about? Like, name
I
one
have
song
no
where he had
fucking
substance.
clue, dog. I was lost. I was like, did he say the album I thought he said? I was like, and he doesn't think 808s is one of his like top 4. I'm
808s
like,
changed everything in music, basically.
I'm like, this nigga doesn't know shit about music. Like, I was like, he's really just a fan.
Did you think he knew shit about music before?
Nah, I really thought he tried to have an objective opinion, but until he said some dumb shit like that about Kanye. And I was like, so you don't, oh, okay. Never mind.
And I'm just
he's around our age. I mean, he's maybe a year or two younger, but still, we all came up with Kanye. So I
really just, like, this is his only project that he's ever put out that made me, like, not want to go back to.
I haven't listened to it since.
Like, I've heard it a couple times, and then, like, Kids See Ghosts came out, and I was like, yeah, I'm not going back to that. Or I'll just go back to Daytona.
The wave.
And then, like, that's it. And, like, so I probably rated it higher on my first reaction than I would rate it now. Honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just, this is his weakest album, bro. Like, this is by far his weakest project he's ever put out.
It's the smallest and weakest body of work.
I thought I was gonna hear like maybe some radical new music shit, like at least some radical new thoughts and shit. Or he was saying some radical shit. Like Yeezus, people talk about a lot, but that was by far his most radical project he ever put out. And like the shit he was saying, like he actually was saying something that wasn't like some shallow level of depth or something. Like he was actually going into shit about he was talking about. And then the production was the most radical production he had too, where you can feel like the Razor shit and like everything else. That felt like the type of album this should have been.
Yeah, for real. Honestly, there was no. It was confusing. But Kanye, honestly, I feel like he just wanted to get his out of the way.
And I just felt like he wanted to ride that PR wave.
Yeah. You know, he's going to get all the streams from that. I mean, it didn't do good at the, like, sales, immediate, like, raw sales, but it's going to stream really nice, like, no matter what.
I think if he would have actually addressed the shit that he was saying and, like, putting it out there in, like, a meaningful way, the people that were like, fuck Kanye, I'm not going to listen to his shit after everything he said.
Right.
They would have come around and been like, okay, I see what he was trying to say and blah, blah, blah. But because, like, you hear that, oh, he didn't talk about any of that shit. So it's like, see. So now it's like, for them, it's like, see, I told you he was just full of shit. I'm definitely not checking it out now. So that would hurt his this album more than anything else to me.
I mean, Joe Budden said that shit. He said, I'm not going to listen to it. He didn't listen to it when it came out. And then he asked everybody, and they were like, oh. And he's like, I told y'all.
Like, what did he say? Did he say anything? Like,
yeah.
No? Okay. Fucking told y'all. Like,
yeah, exactly.
I'm not listening to that shit. Like, that's what it was, basically.
Yeah, I was like, damn, okay. You were right. It's like, yeah.
I was disappointed. Real disappointed.
I'm disappointed.
I mean, you guys let us know what you thought about Ye, where this ranks in his catalog.
It's so weird. It doesn't even feel like an album.
Nah. Do you think it addressed anything that he actually brought up leading up to the album? I mean, yeah. How often have you actually gone back to listen to it? Let us know. So, fast forward 1 week after that, I will say he's done a good job of keeping with the release dates. I didn't think he was going to be able to actually do that.
That was the major thing. Are they going to come out? Are we going to get it? Because now it's like, oh, the Tiana album is next.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like the Nas album and the Tiana, okay.
So, I mean, he's done a good job so far, and he put out Kids See Ghosts, his Kanye West and Kid Cudi joint album, the day they said it would.
Yeah, it came out.
I'll give my first impressions. It felt like more of a Cudi album than it did a Kanye album. Like his style definitely felt more influential to the whole project than Kanye's typical style, for sure. Because it was like out there production, like otherworldly, like crazy samples, crazy synths, and like more about not necessarily straight up rapping, but like more about the melody and the vibes and feels it gives you. And he left the rapping more to the guests that they did have on the songs and stuff than like actually themselves. But I would say it's definitely better than Ye.
Way better.
But I don't think it's still Daytona levels. But it was a vibe. It was definitely a vibe. Like,
yeah,
it's impossible not to vibe.
I agree with you with that. Yeah, I agree with all of that. That everything you said. That's how I feel about it. Like, pretty much.
I feel like if you don't like Cudi, you probably won't like this project.
Yeah, this is for Cudi fans, basically. Honestly, this album is for the Cudi fans. They knew it, and we know it. Like, I didn't go to the album like, real interested in like, what's Kanye gonna bring to it? I know what Kanye is gonna do, and I know what Cudi is capable of. I just want Kanye to listen to Cudi. So like, that's kind of what that sounded like. Except it sounded like Kanye still wanted to get his part in.
Yeah.
But it
felt
didn't
like an extra.
It didn't work. Yeah, I was like, why are you forcing your vocals in on this part that doesn't work with the flow? Like, it didn't work. He kind of disrupted it a little bit, I feel like. I honestly just wanted him to produce Cudi's album instead. He should have just produced Cudi. That would have been fire. But what also is cool, remember the same artist that did this album art, Murakami, he did one of Kanye's old albums.
Was it
Graduation?
Graduation, yeah. Graduation.
Yeah.
It's the same style. I mean, the artwork is fire. I'm not gonna lie.
The artwork's fire. This one, because honestly, Murakami doesn't usually, like, right now he's real popular. He's blowing up again. He's been popular, but he's blowing up right now. But yeah, like, that style, he usually doesn't do it loose and like atmospheric right now. He usually just has a bunch of his characters, and like more like the Graduation cover.
Like real strong outlines and shit like that.
Yeah, exactly. So when I saw the album cover, and I was like, oh shit, that's a Murakami. I was like, yo, that's fire.
I'm not gonna lie, it's fire.
That shit is fire.
Definitely drawn to the cover art, and that shit was fire for sure.
Yeah, so
I mean, it's super stylistic, super experimental, super eclectic. Like the samples he took and used, and like, I don't know. Like you said, Kanye felt like he was injecting, but on the one song was "Feel the Love." I liked when he injected that point.
That was the best, I think.
When he came in with
melding
like
of
super
both
aggressive, of them. Like yeah type shit, like without actually saying nothing, like that. Like that shit got you like really feeling like about to.
That was a strong song. Like, that was a very strong song. I think that was one of the best times Cudi and Kanye like equally like. It was a cohesive sound, you know? Like, it wasn't like one overshined. It was like, oh, yeah, Cudi's perfect on this with the parts that he contributed. And I just loved the features, like the Willow and Dej Loaf, right? I think, well, they weren't official features, but the vocalists.
I was about to say, I don't remember seeing them listed.
Nah, they won't be listed in for like another week or two, probably. But that's what Kanye's style is. Like Drake just got listed as a writer for one of the songs.
But he used some vocals of theirs.
Yeah.
I mean, Pusha T obviously fire. Mos Def was surprising to see her back on.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Was he in Wyoming? Is he allowed back in the country again?
I'm not sure. I think he is, but I'm still not sure.
Didn't he retire? We already talked about that. He's not retiring, but he said
he's not retiring. Why would he change his name back? Like,
yeah, okay. Again, I was like, Mos Def. I was like, ain't it Yazin Bey now? Like,
yeah,
or did he retire Yazin Bey and going back to Mos Def now? Like,
yeah, right.
You know, Mos Def is like one of the greatest hip hop names ever, and then why the fuck did you switch in the first place? But anyways, yeah. So that was a cool one. Louis Primo, I don't know who that was, but I mean, they sounded good in the song.
Yeah. Oh, I think that's one of those old samples. Or was it a young? I don't remember.
Featuring. I don't think you put.
Oh, I know. I think it's a post on. I think it's a feature. I think he listed somebody that died. That was like an old person, like
yeah, just Google it. Yeah, they
what's
did
it
die
called? Post on
1975. Jazz, swing, traditional pop, jumbles. Yeah. Italian American singer. Yeah, but I guess he was still given a feature credit, which was kind of
I heard
strange.
That he talked to their foundation or their whatever it is, the like estate, and I mean this is like the second time he's done that.
I guarantee people have went and Googled his shit and streamed it and everything after this for sure.
So. Oh yeah. So, like, he gave them credit. They're all in it. And I think they wanted the feature credit and were down because they probably get more revenue.
For sure.
Than the sample payout draw. So they're looking at the long term and getting residual as a feature. So, that's pretty smart. Congrats to them for getting on a decent Kanye track. Honestly, the way he mixed it in was good. So, it was nice. But
no, it was a fire album. Definitely fire album. Like I said, not for me, not on Daytona levels.
Nah, because I wanted more. Impeccable. And I didn't just like loop it like I did Daytona. I just kept listening to it back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
And then again, like, I mean, lyrically, obviously, it's not as heavily focused lyrically as it is just sonically.
More sound, yeah. And melody and vibe.
So it's more of a vibe then. But it's like it's a great to go from like that to, okay, let me switch it up and go to here. Like, this is a great follow-up to that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, we both agree. Second best project so far from Yeezy in the Yeezy season. And you guys let us know what you thought about Kids See Ghosts. I mean, I don't have that much to really talk about it other than it was a vibe, you know? It was a CuDi vibe for sure.
I missed CuDi. Sounded like Man on the Moon. CuDi was back. I was like, all right, cool. It's a vibe. Maybe a little Wizard mixed in.
I love Wizard. Some people don't.
Wizard's my favorite album, like dog. For some reason, I love all of that, Wizard. Dog. If you turn on the Arrival and like as you're like getting ready or
Wizard
doing
is
some
fire.
shit.
Oh my god! I really understood why people were hating on it.
That shit is amazing.
Indica is fire to me. I don't know why people act like that wasn't a fire album.
Well, they're mad because CuDi was experimenting. That's when he would just make a whole song, an instrumental, and like maybe hum shit at the end. Like, that was fire.
And I liked that shit. Like,
Because
his, like, instrumentals aren't, like, boring, but they, like,
no, exactly.
Like, they set the mood and shit, like, so crazy. It's like, how can you not like that shit?
Yeah. So I appreciate how he
Satellite Flight was absolute trash. I will give people that.
I was confused. I was like, wait, this is official? No, I'm just kidding.
Absolute trash. And I will say Passion Pain was dope, but not as
for me.
Dope as like a lot of his other shit.
Yeah, but
Man on the Moon
this
though, fire, of course.
It made me want more though.
Yeah.
Like I said,
I was like, okay,
Kanye
I
just produced
CuDi for sure.
a CuDi album instead. That would have been my favorite. That would have been the look for me, but fuck it.
So today, I mean, the time right now is 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern, and as of yet, we still don't have the official stream release of Nas's Kanye-produced album, Nasir.
Mm-hmm.
Which has people actually absolutely raging on Twitter right now, talking about where the fuck is the album at. I was real disappointed when I woke up this morning and it wasn't up there.
Honestly, I was confused because I was like, wait, today's Friday, right? I was like, okay, so the album is... And I was like, wait, I don't see it on this streaming platform.
It's not on any streaming
Google
platform
it
right now.
I was mad confused when I didn't see it on Spotify.
Literally 1 hour ago, Juicy J, yo, where is the Nas album? I got weed stuffed in juicy glass, ready to bake to this classic. So people are really confused, like, yo, where the fuck is the album at? Like, we just heard it last night.
Right.
So,
there was the album listening party.
There
Switch
is.
Beats was on his gram, like dancing. They're like, "Yo, it's tonight. We out here." I was like, "Okay, so they had the listening party."
No, they had it last night. I'm sure there are rips of that out there on the internet. If you would like to hear that. But if you're like me and actually cares about your ears and the quality of shit that you listen to, I'm not touching that until I get the official stream. So, but I did hear the listening party, most of it. And I'll say everything I heard so far just has me, I need to get this album because everything I heard sounded fucking fire.
All I have to say, though, is as expected, this is no shade, Push. No shade. I love Pusha T's album. I love Daytona. It's the best album on Good until the Nas album came out. That's all.
But it hasn't come out yet, so it's still the best album on Good.
Exactly. That's why I said it. It's the best album on Good until the Nas album drops.
I mean, for me, Nas is always in my top 3, regardless. Like, even if he's had some subpar albums, some subpar songs, just him rapping is just like, he's just a god MC. And just, I love the way he raps. I love his style and shit like that, the way he raps. So, like, he's always top 3 for me. So,
for real,
been highly anticipated. And from everything I heard from the stream, it definitely lived up to that and then some. I am disappointed that it is only 7 tracks. You give that 7-track bullshit to yourself, Kanye. Give that shit to Pusha T. Like, don't care. But it's been 6 years since Nas released an album.
It should have been 10. Like,
it should have been.
Like, we should have got 10. At least 10.
At least 10. Like, this is Nas we're talking about. Like, this ain't Pusha T. No offense, love Push it, but
7's good for Push.
7 is perfect for Push, but
that's why it was so amazing. It was like well contained. It was like,
but people have been waiting 6 years for this. So I mean, it sounds like Nas,
but he might be packing in. It might be dense.
It sounds like Nas had an album already though, but 2 years ago. And it sounds like that got scrapped for this one. So, yeah, can't say too much about it because can't go into each individual track, but there is I don't know, it's a wave, but it's building response to the album coming out is that people are like blasting him for Khaleesi's accusations that she made a while ago.
Oh, I don't remember.
About how they used to like get into physical altercations.
Oh, those. Oh, that's coming back.
That's coming back now.
Oh, I was like, that was like 10 years ago. Like, I forgot all of that.
So that's coming back, and people are questioning, oh, are we going to support an album by somebody that beats women or some basically along those lines?
Yikes. Oof. Nas is going to get Me Too'd?
They're trying to.
No, they can't Me Too Nas.
They're trying to.
With the Khalees story, though, that's not going to work.
But here's my thing about her story is that she was saying we were both abusive to each other. Wasn't like saying that he used to just beat my ass and like, but it was like, you're still a man. Yeah. I guess, you know? So I don't know. It's not like a straight up just situation like that, but it is something that is like people are trying to bring back up as his album's coming out.
Damn. Nobody. I hate that controversy. It's already bad enough that Kanye fucked up all the, like, just his name, his brand, just the words Kanye right now. So, like, Nas's album, and then you're like produced by Kanye, and you're like, oh, produced by, that sounds dope, but I'm not supposed to like him right now. Like, yeah. You know.
Breaking news: like, Nasir has just dropped on Tidal.
Of course. Okay.
So, if you
Kanye's
have Tidal,
not mad at Hov.
Nah. So if you have Tidal,
do I?
You can go listen to that.
I might get it though.
070 Shake apparently is on the album too. So I guess she's like the new good music signing.
So by designer, right?
Yeah.
Officially? You think it's official?
What?
Is designer off good?
Nah, he's not off good.
Because I feel like his vocals would have been like real smooth on some of these shit.
Yeah, he's not off good, but it is surprising that he wasn't like a part of any of these projects.
Like his voice would float on some of this shit. Like kill it.
Yeah.
With the right arrangement.
I mean, I just don't think he was, even though he's part of good, I'm not entirely sure that he was really part of that Kanye flow this time.
Yeah. But he already said he was dropping later this year anyway, right?
Yeah. I just feel like they missed the opportunity with him for sure. Because he did drop that project, like a month before this even started?
Yeah, and I was like, why didn't Kanye just do that one and then
then put it together? Yeah.
Why don't you have a month and a half? Like fuck it. Like, you know?
A real missed opportunity. You could have put Designer out in this whole wave.
Because you could have just pushed him back a month. Like, it's not like we were all like, oh, come on, Designer. Like, it would have been a much bigger wave for the whole team. But he didn't. That was a big missed opportunity by Good. Where's Pusha T's president bullshit when you need him on that? That's the good music president, I gotta say, Pusha T.
Yeah, that was a bad executive decision.
Yeah. You just let Designer do his own. What the fuck are you doing? Like, if you're gonna do that to him, then let him put out more music. You know? If they're gonna treat him like a fucking, you know, SoundCloud rapper, then let him SoundCloud it. And drop a bunch of shit all the time.
Facts.
You know?
Nas' album's still not on Apple Music, so just Tidal for the moment, which I don't have. Will never have.
I heard the interface is like one of the best, though. It's actually
Tidal.
Really nice. Yeah, I heard they have a really nice interface.
Well, it should be for the price.
Yeah. But I might try the free trial, bro. I'm waiting on something that'll really make me want to get the free trial. That's the ace.
I'm not even like I have any of these streaming services because I don't.
Oh, I just been using Spotify for a minute. So I remember when it first came out, I was like, oh yeah, finally something I can curate.
Well,
instead of for the radio.
So, I mean, by the time this podcast goes up, people should have already listened to Nas' album. So, you guys give us our opinion, you know, before we give you our opinions next time about Nasir, his album. Was it worth the wait? 6 years, 7 tracks, is that enough? And Kanye West, is that the right decision? Let us know in the comments. And yeah, so we're off of Yeezy season at the moment. That's everything that came out so far that we did not talk about. But there were a lot more albums that came out, even outside of just his. And we're going to touch on a couple. Yeah. So first and foremost, we're going to touch on Black Thought and his joint little EP he had with Ninth Wonder.
Ninth Wonder, producer.
It's only 5 songs, kind of short, sweet, like a lot of these projects coming out these days.
Just like, hey, here you go.
Here's my turn. I think this is like one of his first like solo things. You know, he doesn't do.
Yeah, I don't think he ever really
has a solo. I can't think off the top of my head if he had a solo, but I can't remember him ever having a solo project. He's always been part of the Roots.
I don't know. I don't remember a solo project. That'd be lit though. But this 5 project joint was heavy. I mean, the first minute and a half, I was like shocked. I had to pause it and was like, holy shit. I was like, I'm getting bombarded with amazing bars right now. Like, I had to stop the headphones and the music and be like, what did he just say? Like, that's how I felt when I was listening to it. Because I was really listening to what he was saying, and he was saying something.
So he's definitely one of the most underrated lyricists in the game.
Oh, 100%. Fucking A. If you, like, I had to rewind the first minute and a half. I had to stop because I was in shock. He said some shit like, oh my God. He's like, from when Burning Man was way back when, since when Burning Man was blacks in Birmingham or some shit like that. And I was like, oh my God. What? That's a bar? I was just like, but it was just bar on top of bar, like that heavy, like with all of that, like, cultural, like, and historical reference shit. And I was like, God damn. He was listing off artists and shit, like artists that most of y'all, honestly, the casual listener didn't even know he was talking about. When he was saying, like, paint a picture like Kerry James, he's the guy who just, his painting that Diddy bought for like 21 million or whatever.
I believe we have a reaction and gallery of his on the website.
Yes, we do. Kerry James retrospective at the Met Brewer.
So if you don't know Kerry James, definitely check that out on the site.
Yeah, that was dope. So that work basically is what Black Thought was referencing. And then he referenced Carrie Mae Weems, who's a photographer, who's legendary. But so he was just throwing in these like, this, you know, like people you should know. Like, it's not Basquiat, you know, you don't know those fancy, you know, like this is people living right now who are legends right now, who are artists. And I was like, oh, that's fresh. Like shouting them out.
Okay, so get some art raps.
Yeah. That was fresh.
I have not heard the entire thing yet. Well, I know only 5 tracks, but I got caught up with some other stuff. But everything I've heard so far, expectedly fire. I mean, Black Thought I've always known to be like one of the top lyricists out there, and this proves it. And Ninth Wonder is
it's just like the Flex Freestyle extended. It's like the Flex Freestyle with Ninth instead.
And Ninth Wonder is one of the greatest producers to ever do it. So I mean, if you love hip hop, this is a project that doesn't make any sense to not check out. Basically,
facts. Go check that out. But let's roll right into. We have to talk about this rap album. We have to.
What's that?
J-Rock, TDE.
J-Rock is back. Finally, people have been clamoring for his next album. It's been long rumored to come out, and it finally came out. And not the best timing to drop, but I think he's got his own like strong enough lane that it doesn't really matter. It's not like ASAP where he still needs that kind of mainstream audience.
And that's what's weird. That's what's crazy is ASAP has like weak core fans because I don't know. J-Rock's been doing it for longer, technically.
Yeah, a lot longer.
So
for a lot longer. He's the originator from DD, basically.
Exactly.
I mean, he's had a bad run of it. For people that don't know, like basically when he first came out, he was like at the tail end of that whole late 90s, early 2000s gangster rap. When that was starting to like die down and turn to like the Kanyes and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So when he first burst, he definitely caught that wrong timing because he just did not come out. Like they just would not put him out because it just was not the type of music people were going for at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And he's kind of felt like he's been kind of searching for his sound in this day and age for like the past few albums.
Yeah.
Like
the
they've
last
been
project
good,
felt like
but they haven't been
experiment.
like
high quality production for sure.
They just haven't been
cohesive.
They just always felt like something was missing compared to like his other label mates who weren't even who were never traditional style rappers like he is, you know?
It's almost like they're a little bit more on target, like they have something in mind and the project feels
more
like
conceptual
or something.
Yeah, more just out there. Like he's still more traditional style of music he's always put out. But this one by far feels like his most mainstream attempt. I don't even know if I'll say mainstream, but it has the most bangers out of any project he's put out, for sure.
This shit slaps. Not only does it slap, the hood tales he tells in this, like, once again, stories, people. If you can rap and you can put a few stories in there, even if it's not long. If it's coming from your real life and shit, that shit just sounds hard.
He's always felt like the realest out of the group.
Yeah, like I lived this life. Like, it was crazy. it was in the skits. It's hard for me to actually like skits and think they're placed well and shit. And this one had like it didn't even inconvenience me. It wasn't even as like the interlude or whatever in before songs and shit.
Basically, like to me, it feels like Kendrick had a huge influence on like his development over the last few years, musically.
Yeah, definitely. I think he watched what happened and then realized what a project could be, and like, oh, okay, I see how you did that with the project. Like that's different than I was thinking about him. I wasn't thinking about him that the way you told me you were thinking about it. Yeah. Now I'm going to think about my project in that way. Like, I think he was, cause this shit, it's easy, just front to back, just don't stop. It feels like the Chronic, like it's not the Chronic, but like I mean, it takes me back to like when I felt that kind of music back in the day.
What's your favorite track on here?
Ooh, well, I mean the singles are always bumping, but you know, so those don't count technically. I don't count singles.
I would say King's Dead would have had such a big impact if I didn't already hear it for so long.
Yeah, exactly.
But at the same time, I understand that having it on that project also made his name that much more recognizable to people, and it pushed his like music more. But at the same time, if he
I think it was a good move.
It would have been. So I don't even know if I would have put it on this album after that. Honestly.
Well, it's a traditional rollout though, so I think it serves the purpose, and it's great. And I think King's Dead goes with the Win, you know, because Win is the other one, and that was a good way to start the album too. It's to like bring us back, and it ends the album, but like that's the single before the album drops was Win. Yeah. So like they released that, and that's like I think was a nice way to like bring it all together. But I'm trying to think of I don't know. The intro's hard. Intros are always hard. Like the Bloodiest Man, like. ES Tales with the intro at the front. Trooper. Man. I mean, the Kendrick, though. What do you think about the Wild freestyle?
They went in. It felt like... I mean, they tried to make it sound like when they were first coming up, and it felt like that, like when their little joint projects they used to have. Yeah. They would go back and forth. So it kind of felt like that, which was dope. Mm-hmm. But
did you watch J-Rock actually... They released a promo
Road to Redemption.
Yeah, the Road to Redemption.
Yeah,
that was actually kind of cool. I liked that. Yeah, part 1. Yeah, I really liked that because it had a lot of like footage of them. Like, so you got to see Little Kenny and like J-Rock putting him on kind of shit, and like seeing so like you know he's the OG, and like this project is like really important. You know,
it felt like this was a really important project, and it felt like that's how they approached it, and I think he did his best job yet of like balancing his more traditional like hardcore style of rap and updating the sound to this like generation sound without it feeling forced. Like you don't hear any like trap beats or no shit like that, but it has shit that you want to actually you can hear on the radio but still like bump your car or at home and shit like that. And he still got those stories that he tells so much better than everybody else. So like ES Tells, one of my favorite songs off there. Like that shit is
so that shit is flames. Like ES Tells is my go-to. I think that I just have to call that my favorite because I click on that one first now.
That shit is like that's like some old. It's kind of got that old school West Coast rap vibe.
Yeah,
but it's like modern,
like,
and that shit's just like fucking hard as shit. Like that's like that gangster West Coast shit, but like modern shit. Like that shit was hard as fuck.
Hell yeah.
Out of Sight, Out of Mind with J. Cole, hard as fuck. Cole's
yeah, that was a surprise. That was a surprise. I liked that though. No, it's crazy. J. Cole getting out here on some features.
He is, but with people he fucks
getting
with.
Some good features, dog.
He has great features. Like, but rap, like he'll do it with like rappers, like real rappers and shit. Like,
no, for real, yeah. Like he's not just
hopping on like some like you know.
He's like, oh, your album's about to be legendary. Yeah, I guess I could do a verse.
I mean, he's done a great job keeping the name out there because after Royce, then now you got this shit and like.
He does a Royce feature and a J-Rock feature. That's like two of the hardest, like two of the most introspective.
For what it's worth, sounds like it's got like some like 90s R&B sample to it. That shit is crazy too. Like,
yeah.
I mean, Tap Out feels like his first like legit club single.
Yeah, that's like that one's
like I won't be surprised if I hear this in the club.
Tap out. Yeah, no, honestly, that felt like that's definitely the club joint for sure. Because honestly, there's some lyrics in there. That's what I'm noticing in hip hop. There's a lot of like, there's a couple recycled things. Well, not even recycled, but like something Cardi says. I heard in a J-Rock, but it's not because she said it. It's just like the way it goes with a certain bop. Like that's kind of like what you would say there. But like, yeah, I don't know. It was cool.
I mean, broke plus minus fire. Like this was.
Oh man.
I've always loved J-Rock, especially his features, but I've never like fully loved an entire project he's done.
No, this is the most I've ever.
This is the most I've like been like, yo, this shit.
And it's long.
Like
it's not
like,
short.
Damn, this shit's hard.
There's a lot of tracks, but I mean, honestly, for me, I'll just take out those.
Is 13 a lot now?
I mean, compared
is that
to this,
a lot now?
I've been getting 7-track albums for a few weeks now.
Like 13 is not a lot, bro.
After these 7 trackers, I don't think I can go past 10 now.
Like a lot is like 18 or some shit like that. Like 13 is not that much, bro.
Nah, I'm just fucking with you. Nah, it's not a lot. It's just I need to listen to it again and again. I like.
This was his best album by far. His best project since like What's Finest.
Hell yeah. And honestly, TDE they're putting out fucking hits, like classics.
I think seeing him on tour performing this shit will make a lot of people like recognize him and like be real fans after this.
Yeah. Well, cause like SZA blew up. I think like everyone there, as long as they put out something, but this is his best project though. It's not even just what's going on with TDE.
Nah, that's his best shit,
he really did. He really did his thing. So, I'm
happy to see it. The OG, man.
Oh yeah.
Neo came out. Good man.
I skipped that.
It's actually fire, bro.
Yeah?
Yeah. I mean, if you like Neo.
Well, Neo's tight. I mean, the thing is, Neo's one of the most. He's one of the first.
Don't just shit on him now because people don't fuck with R&B like that nowadays.
I mean, Neo's one of the. What do you mean? Nah. My favorite album fucking that came out right now is that Jorja Smith.
Okay, but that's not the R&B you know what I'm talking about. Like this.
I know.
R&B, bro.
Definitely, yeah. That body right there, that you know.
It's that 2000s, late 90s, like.
Yeah, I mean, he was doing that hosting, like TV acting, all that stuff. So it kind of just felt like a music comeback. Like,
it's
It's
good.
I found time for the album now. It kind of feels like when Ludacris put out his last album.
Nah.
That's what it looked like. Like, I didn't feel a rollout. Like, I was just like, oh, Neo got a new album.
It's actually pretty good. It's not like a giant departure of what he normally does, but it's like more updated and shit for now. And there's like more island and like, there's definitely more international vibes, which is good because his probably gets way more sales overseas and tours and shit than he does here nowadays.
Hell yeah.
So it makes sense that it would be more internationally flared and shit. But yeah, so we'll just talk about Jorja Smith since you brought it up. But this is not a traditional R&B album. This is a neo soul / R&B type of album, and it's like a lane that Londoners and Englanders singers have been absolutely killing over the past few years.
Slaughtering it. They own that shit.
They basically took it over from us.
Basically, yeah.
I mean, if you look at like Sam Smith, like even other people like that, like they basically, even Adele you can put in there, have basically just
Lana Del Rey.
taken over. Well, Lana's American, but
yeah, that's the only one we got, and she ain't putting out music.
Have basically just taken over this lane and ran with it, and she's the next. She's for sure the next up to add that to that list because Lost and Found is absolutely incredible. Like that shit's, I don't really know any other way to put it.
This fucking album, bro. I wasn't expecting it. I heard her
because everything I've heard from her before was been like, damn, who is this?
It was amazing, but to be like, I haven't felt this good about an R&B project since SZA came out last year. So basically a year ago.
Okay.
When I heard this, because it was like refreshing, and like the arrangement is very creative. It's not like traditional.
It sounded similar to Solange's project, like in that style.
Right. Definitely.
Very thought out.
She gave me a lot of different vibes. Like, there's one song where I could hear like a almost Rihanna twang, but it wasn't anywhere close to how Rihanna would do it. But it just like,
is it the one or On Your Own? One of them?
Yeah, it was the one, I think, or On Your Own or the one I forgot. So I only heard it a couple times. But those two songs, I remember loving both of those songs. And be like, ooh, the one. I looked at my phone. I was like, the one. That is the one.
It's like some real smooth, soulful shit, but it's still got like a pop vibe to it that maybe you won't be like dancing crazy to and like jumping up and down to, but you'll definitely be swaying to it and like definitely vibing to it heavily. And like for somebody, she's like 22, 23.
Yeah, it's because it's kind of dark. It's almost like Young Weekend, but like, you know, like, but in a but not in like the party way.
Yeah, it's not party like music,
but just like in that dark
but it's
kind
got
of way.
That pop vibe to it.
Yeah, where it didn't feel like
even
like
some
but it was still really
some hip hop influences to that.
Bro, she has some bars. I'm not gonna lie. Like her poetry when she was kind of floating.
Lifeboats freestyle, like she actually starts rapping on that shit. And like,
dog, that shit was lit. That was lit.
And the intro, Lost and Found, the production definitely has like, it sounds like almost like a hip hop sample in there.
Yeah.
You know what this reminded me of? Lauryn Hill.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because she had some acoustic. It was just her and the guitar vocals, and it reminded me of Unplugged because she had to like. And I was like, ooh, that sounds so good, like. Because you could hear her fingers slide on the key on the strings, like so that's how you know it's just her. But it's probably not her. It could be her. I don't know anything about her. So, but just the arrangement and the audio sound great.
Real strong Lauryn Hill vibes with her, and from this project, which is like as good as a compliment as you can give somebody like a young R&B artist, because Lauryn Hill's like one project. It's still one of the greatest projects ever come out.
Hell yeah.
And like the way she mixes everything, just like Lauryn Hill did with like soul, R&B, hip hop and shit, like it feels like that. And then she's not just talking about like love, like, and the relationships and shit like that. Like she's actually going like in deep thought about shit, and like she even talks about like society's problems and shit. Like she talks about like blue lights and shit like that. Like she's talking about policing. When she did
the blue lights,
lifeboats, like she's talking about like how we treat each other and shit like that. But it's like actually like deep thought versus just like some shallow relationship shit. Like
when she did that cop song, that shit. I mean, it's not the cop song. I just interpreted it as when.
I mean, it's called Blue Lights, so I mean.
Yeah, so I mean,
it's all about policing and shit.
That was such a well done way to tackle the subject. Like in terms of songs, because we could think about. It made me think about all the songs that have came out related to that topic and like how people do their renditions and stuff. And I was like, this, just like, it was just really well done. It was like really beautiful the way she was like putting it across. It was like, because it was like the most recently, This Is America is one type of message that's similar in terms of like just gun violence but like it wasn't specifically police. But Eminem had a trash one on his album. So there's just been people that have tried it, and I'm like, shit, she did that really well.
I mean, I listened to it front to back, no skips, and it just feels like, as opposed to like Sam Smith and all them, and like you said, it's not as bright. Like it's like listening to it like desaturated music, basically. Like the colors are more muted and like shit like that, and like at the end, I was like, am I supposed to cry now? I was like, oh shit, this song is sad as fuck. I was like, oh shit, I can think about anybody that's dying. It might have been not have been the last song, but it was like, it was the last song.
Okay, yeah, I was like, this is a crazy way to end the album, is to just put me on edge, like, thinking about all my loved ones that I lost, and them being, like, up above, like, I'm like, shit, yo.
Definitely some emotional, heavy shit, but but not so heavy that it's not like you can't just vibe to it.
Yeah, she doesn't make you cry. It's just like it's soft enough, but she's like getting deep. Like she's getting into it.
Voice is incredible, and for this to be like her debut album, it's like insane. And it kind of feels like
runs.
The same feeling I got listening to like Adele's first and like Sam Smith's first and like Sampha's first for sure. Like it's that same feeling. Like damn, like these guys are fucking good, yo.
Right.
That's what
just
like.
That like slow gravel. You're just like, what is that? Like, and then they can hit those high notes perfect and shit, and you're just like, oh my god.
It's like they're just shitting. They took our genre and like they're shitting all over us.
I'm just like, what are you doing?
I'm not even mad at it because like her accent, like when she's rapping that shit, is actually dope on there.
That's the only time I've like ever in a while
accent on like rap. Honestly, goes for
well because she like hers isn't heavy though.
Nah,
it's like not super heavy.
It's almost like spoken word.
Right, definitely, I like that. So yeah, I love that project. I would give that project a 5.
I gave it a 5.
Thanks. Ooh.
I gave
it
a 5.
5.
I did. Flag. So, I mean, if you guys like Lauryn Hill, you've been missing that kind of Lauryn Hill type vibe, I highly suggest you listen to Jorja Smith, Lost and Found. You've heard her before on like Kendrick's Black Panther album, on Drake's More Life, and a few other features here and there, but she's been pretty...
Even a touch of Aaliyah.
Sparse about what she did and shit, but like, this is a must listen for sure. She's dope as
even
fuck.
A dash of Aaliyah, y'all. Just that little bit. It's amazing. I don't want to put that pressure on it though. But
I mean, I just said Lauryn Hill, and I think Lauryn Hill musically is more talented than Aaliyah. Sorry, Aaliyah fans. I said Lauryn Hill, I think, is more musically more talented.
Oh, well,
than
Aaliyah didn't play instruments and create her own arrangements and shit. So, I mean, I'm fine with that.
Some people won't be.
No, they won't. Because they're not going to understand what we're talking about.
I stand by what I said.
Well, all I have to say, just so this doesn't get twisted on me, is that Aaliyah and Lauryn Hill both have, for me, 2 of the most amazing albums of all time.
Aaliyah's is fire. Don't get me wrong.
Aaliyah's self-titled album to me,
I've
probably listened to them both equally, honestly. Except the other one doesn't come on the radio. Aaliyah's music doesn't get played, but CD-wise, when I had CDs, I was listening to both of those.
Miseducation of Lauryn Hill is one of the greatest albums ever made from anybody.
Influence, but think about it. Aaliyah influenced Drake and all these other niggas too. Aaliyah influenced Jorja Smith probably. She probably heard that. Like,
you don't think Lauryn Hill did? Come on, bro.
Lauryn Hill influenced Aaliyah, so I mean, like, Lauryn Hill's the godmother, you know. She's like the queen of that shit. So I can't even put anybody in her category.
Anyways, I stand by exactly. You all heard what I said. I meant what I said, and I stand by what the fuck I just said.
Just disregard this part, ladies and
gentlemen. Nah. Get in your feelings if you want.
I will say, though,
in the debate.
I personally feel like Jorja Smith's project put pressure on Tiana's project. But that's just me.
Like, let's be real, though. Okay?
Huh?
I like the idea of Tiana, but musically, I don't even know what the fuck to expect from Tiana.
But that's what I'm saying.
And I don't know why people are so hyped about her outside of some shit here, like some
just because all we know is
shit.
That she's been...
But musically,
she's been coined
you
as
can't tell me she's had, like, a great output.
I mean, this might just be the end of her, development. Her
How long you need? How long you need?
I mean, for her, she needed like 15 years. Like,
oh, that's all I'm saying. Like
10 years.
I kind of understand, but I don't really understand.
In the oven, man.
Because like the idea of her is cool, but like. She just hasn't had anything to talk about musically, so I'm not really sure.
But that's what I'm saying, is that's the flagship. She's the last one, right?
With Jorja Smith, you actually had something to expect from her musically, so I cannot make that comparison.
Tiana's featured on something.
Name it. Not the music video, but the song.
I can't name it because I don't have my phone's dead.
Okay.
But like,
yeah.
I wanted to look it up. Look it up. I think she might be on a Kanye joint, dog, or something. It was from last year, a year ago. But I don't even remember it. But I saw her name. I feel like I totally saw her name.
I think the thing she's like most famous for, basically, is being in Kanye West's Fade video.
Well, as of right now, that's what she's most famous for.
As of like
before that, she was like Imani Shumpert's wife.
Okay,
basically.
and before that,
she was one of those brats on, like, what was that?
Sweet 16.
That 16-year-old, like,
My Super Sweet 16.
Yeah, she was on that shit. I think she was one of those kids.
You're just proving
like,
my point
parents.
right now, so I'm not even really sure what like you're trying.
So that's what I'm saying. She came from that. She was basically a child star off of some reality.
The last
TV
single
shit.
she had was like 2014.
Oh, that was a minute ago. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
what about features? She had a feature last year.
Meek Mill.
I'll see.
Made it from nothing, but I don't remember her on there.
Oh, see, it was on. I knew it was on something. I had to listen to
because I don't.
I don't, but I'm just saying. I
So,
know that I saw.
like,
I told you I
don't
saw her
even
name.
remember
I told you I
song.
saw her name. I said I don't remember the song, but I saw her name.
You can't even say like, see, like you don't even remember all the goddamn song, like.
But hey, she featured on something. I don't know. I don't remember what she sounded like. Maybe it was good. I mean,
she's more famous as like a personality and shit than an artist. That's all I'm saying. That's my own point.
But we'll see. Honestly,
yeah, we're about to find out in a week. So,
right? She gonna let the music talk.
Okay. Music hasn't been doing a lot of talking since, but we'll see.
All I gotta say is, if it doesn't work, it's not gonna work. So it's a lot riding on this debut.
Technically, it's not a debut. She had an album in 2014.
That's why I'm saying. That's why I did the
that nobody listened to.
Yeah, that's why there's air quotes on that one. Because
I just don't get the hype. That's all I'm saying. I don't get why people are so hyped for it.
I don't know, man. They might be behind the scenes. She might have ghostwritten some shit that we don't know about.
Sure. Well, whenever you know.
She might be doing reference tracks, though. She might be out here, and we just don't know. Like Neo was. She might be Neo-ing it.
Everybody knew
behind
Neo was writing for people. Like that was.
But before Neo wrote his own singles, before he came out with singles, he was in the industry for like 5 years.
And that's why people knew him. Like, oh, he was the writer for that. Okay.
Nah, no, people didn't know him.
Yes, they did, bro.
Nah, not like that.
Anyways, that's it for the music that just came out. I'm done talking about Taylor. I tell you, I don't want to keep talking about her. She has her get her resume up, and then we'll talk longer.
You need more stats, homie. Like,
so the music has not stopped, and it will not stop. This summer.
This is an onslaught.
It's a ridiculous onslaught. Oh, I forgot to ask you. Do you think Drake pushed his album back?
Yeah.
Wasn't it supposed to come out in July? Now it's coming out August 29th?
No. Drake's album's coming out this month.
No.
Yeah.
Is it?
It's coming out June 29th. He's not pushing it back. I think it was still June, but I think he wanted to put it out like now, like this week.
It's June?
Like, yeah.
Okay. All right.
It's going to come out in 2 weeks, but I think he wanted it to come out now.
For some reason, I thought it was August 29th. I don't remember why.
No, that was Nicki Minaj.
Oh, okay.
Nicki Minaj hers was supposed to come out in July, and then she pushed it to August.
So they got 2 weeks, Drake. Quit running, dog. We're going to see.
That's why I did the Degrassi fucking...
Whatever.
He's rolling out. He's rolling out right
cornball. You better stop giving this man a pass. So dropping this week, obviously Nas finally out on Tidal. Hopefully on the other shit soon. Nasir, Kanye produced album. J-Rock Redemption just dropped today. Definitely check that out.
Fire.
Nicki Minaj was supposed to come out today, but she ran from the onslaught, dog. She ran from the onslaught. So she's not coming out today. Mike Shinoda of was it Linkin Park fame?
Don't remember.
Fort Minor, maybe.
Sounds mad for his name's really familiar. I just don't remember.
Hold on. I want to say Fort Minor.
It
No, it was Linkin Park.
Linkin Park. You were right the first time.
I was right the first time. He has a solo album that just dropped called Post Traumatic. Chromeo, the electronic duo, the EDM duo, Head Over Heels. And the album cover is actually them in heels and Daisy Duke shorts. So if you want to see that,
hey, run it. Fuck it.
Christina Aguilera.
Oh yeah, she was doing a rollout
with their album Liberation. Also has a Kanye West produced track on there. Let me see. Sophie. Pop artist, eclectic, like, I think I want to say European pop artist. Oil of Every Pearl's on the Insides, a very strange name, but she's a strange artist, so that's coming out also.
Let it rock.
And next week, June 22nd, Panic at the Disco is coming back again. Pray for the Wicked. Teyana Taylor. I don't know the name of it yet. I don't think she has named it.
Well, Kanye hasn't screenshotted the whiteboard yet with the with the album titles listed.
9 Inch Nails, Bad Witch, BB.
Ooh, there's some fire rock coming out.
Expectations, Kamasi Washington, I believe Jazz, Heaven and Earth.
Okay.
Daz has come out with the album called Passwords. Yeah, that's it. But that's a lot, actually. Coming out still over the next 2 weeks. This summer is absolutely chock full of music. It's almost ridiculous, impossible to keep up with everything. But we'll do our best to point out the shit that you should be listening to. Next week, we are doing our top 20 of the year so far.
Ooh.
So get your list ready, because I'm about to body you on it. It's going to be...
Stop
I'm
it.
just going to let you guys know it's going to be incredibly fucking difficult this year for me to do 20 albums of the year so far. It's going to be even harder to do it of the entire year, but of the last 6 months, because it's basically
so much shit just came out.
It's going to be really, 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 really hard list.
So I have to have a top 5 and a top 10.
They're going to be in 20. So
I know, but they got to be in order.
Yeah, you got to give your order.
Okay.
You got to give your order. I'll give my order, and then we will combine to make an official Living Life Fearless top 20 albums of the year so far list, and we'll post it. So for those of you listening, if you want, get your list together and compare and see what you think, what you don't agree with, and so look forward to that.
Definitely.
Like I said, I'm definitely about to body this kid.
Oh my God, this guy!
Because I got some shit I know he hasn't even heard. So
you heard this guy?
Definitely check in.
Oh, he doesn't know. I got some sleepers. He just doesn't. He doesn't listen to some of these sleepers out here. Just some people out here.
Nah.
Dropping some amazing shit.
So, thank you for listening. As always, if you have any questions, comments, topic suggestions about this show, past shows, or any future shows, you can do that down below in the comment section. You can email us at podcast@livinglifefearless. That's livinglifefearless. Let me restart that again. You can email us at podcast@livinglifefearless.co, or you can go to livinglifefearless.co/podcast and fill out the form. And maybe you'll get a shout out in one of our future shows. This is up on iTunes, SoundCloud, YouTube, wherever you listen to your podcast, except for Spotify. You will find us there. So subscribe, share us, give it a like. It helps us greatly. Let me grab this real quick. Talk to the people, Dries.
Oh, word. Well, shit. I mean, music files, y'all. There's been so much shit popping. I'm glad the Drake beef is over. It was kind of too consuming. What y'all think about that shit, though? Please comment about how you feel that beef went down. How do you feel about Kanye producing all this shit? Does that matter to you at all? And get ready for this fire. I don't know if y'all know.
So, they finally came.
But we got gear.
Our new joint hats.
The Rebel Dad hats.
Rebel Dad hats, Volume 2. As you can see, they've been updated.
Mm-hmm. Let's see, do I got Volume 1 sitting around? Yeah. So, unfortunately for y'all, this is sold out. And those are about to be sold out. Because they're
going fast. We've already sold about half of them in the last week. You have until the end of this weekend to order them now for 30% off. So like $17. Get them now before they are sold out. Because they are fire.
Yeah. That shit's flames.
And we're going to have Access on here soon. So we can talk about the ads collab. You got some new singles. So yeah. Thanks for listening. Check us out next week.
Yeah.
Peace.
Keep living life fearless. Music Files.